There is a recurring question in today's gospel. The people are asking John the Baptist, what shall we do? There's a group of tax collectors asking John this question, and there's also a group of soldiers. What shall we do? Maybe this should also be our point of reflection today. What shall we do? We have heard the message of the coming of the Messiah. We have heard what is expected of us, for this Messiah to come and be born in a place that is clean. Now, the question that we can ask ourselves is, what more is expected? After all this message has come to our ears and we have accepted it and have kept it in our hearts, what are we supposed to do then? And as John the Baptist is responding to this question, he hopes the people to reflect on what we can call, concrete faith or practical faith, existential faith. That is what is driving the minds of the people to. That it is not enough just to hear the word and to accept it, but there's something that has to be done. So this faith that you have built by way of hearing the word and accepting it has to now find its finality in the actions. That this faith has to be translated into actions. It has to be concrete. It has to be tangible. It has to be existential. He says, he who has 2 coats, let him share with him who has none. And he who has food, let him do likewise. Today we are celebrating Gaudete Sunday, the Sunday of joy. And the only way to be joyful together as a church, as a community, as a society, is to be concerned about the needs of each other. If I have 2 coats, then it means that 1 coat belongs to another person. I have to be concerned about the lacking of another person. If I have 2 plates of food, it means that one of these plates belongs to another person. So I have to be concerned about the hunger of another person. And that is the only way to be joyful as a community. Faith has to be also communal. Faith has to have a community dimension for it to make sense. I can't just have faith alone and leave my faith alone. I have to be aware of the fact that I live in a community. I live with other people. And so my faith has to overflow and touch the lives of other people. So whatever we are before God has to be communal. It has to create space in our lives for other people's needs. And that is why John is talking about sharing. If you have 2 coats, give 1 coat to another person. In other words, be concerned about the emptiness in the life of another person. Don't say it is their business and this is my business. Happiness is happiness when it is shared with other people. You can't just be happy alone and be content. You can't just say, as long as I am happy, then everything is okay. No, nothing is okay. Your happiness has to touch other people's lives. In other words, your happiness has to be shared with other people. When we celebrate Gaudete Sunday, we are saying the Jesus that is coming, that is going to be born in just a few weeks' time, is bringing joy not just to you, not just to me, but to humanity. He is bringing joy to everybody. The joy that we are anticipating today is a communal joy, a joy that we're going to share as humanity, as a community, as a church, as a society, as a nation. And therefore, you cannot be happy alone. You cannot be joyful alone. You have to be joyful with other people. You have to be happy with other people. And the only way that you're going to be happy with other people is by creating space in your life for other people. To be concerned about the lacking of other people. If your neighbor is lacking, be concerned about that emptiness, about that lacking. And if you have the power, do something about it. The tax collectors, they come to be baptized and they say to him, "Teacher, what shall we do?" These tax collectors were civil servants. We can say Roman civil servants. So they were employed by the Roman emperor to collect taxes for the empire. So to collect from the Jews, to collect from everybody who lived within the Roman Empire. That was their duty. But sometimes they could charge a bit more, so that as they remit the tax, or as they submit the tax that they have collected to the king, they also remain with something in their pockets. So if what is required is, or if what is supposed to be paid by the citizens is, let's say, 10 kwacha, then they would charge 12 kwacha. So that when they take the 10 kwacha to the king, or to the emperor, then they would remain with a 2 kwacha in their pocket. And it became a norm. It became institutionalized. You know, there's what they call institutionalized sin. So where sin becomes so rooted that you don't see it as sin anymore, it becomes normal to the eyes. So it becomes an institution. And so they come to John the Baptist and say, "Teacher, what shall we do? We have been baptized and we have heard the message of the coming of the Messiah, but what exactly are we supposed to do? What more should we do?" And immediately John doesn't even waste time. He says, "Collect no more than is appointed you." Collect no more, because John knows what these people have been doing. He knows that they've been charging more than it is expected. And he tells them, "Oh, you're asking me what you are supposed to do? Collect no more than is appointed you." If the emperor has asked you to collect 10 denarii or 10 kwacha or 10 whatever, collect just that. And that is what you're supposed to do. Live a life of truthfulness, of integrity. Be honest in your duties. That is the only thing the Lord is asking of you. We have a lot of people in our world today that are not so honest. It's not easy to live with somebody who is not honest. So the message that John is delivering today to these people, I think, should also touch some of us. Live a life of honesty. Live a life of integrity. Don't be a lie. You know, don't live a lie. Be who you are. Let people see the honesty in you. Don't be dishonest in order to cover up some cracks in your life. If you have any cracks in your life, let those be visible, because it means there's something that has to be done about those cracks. Some people want to be dishonest by way of hiding the true image. That is why many of us go about wearing masks. You know, when somebody is wearing a mask, you can't really see their true face. So what you see is what you might think is their real face. But then they go home, and when nobody is looking, they begin to do what? To take off that mask. Tomorrow, when they have to go out and meet other people, they have to put on that mask. There's something that they are hiding. John is saying, be honest, live a life of integrity. If you have been tasked with a responsibility, carry out that responsibility with integrity, with honesty, with truthfulness. If you are a government worker and your job is to be handling money, do that duty with integrity. Don't be selfish. Don't be self-centered. Because if you are self-centered, it means that you begin to pocket some of that money which is supposed to go to the people. If you are a treasurer of the small business community, don't eat people's money. Some people, when you put them in that position, oh my God, you are very lucky if you see anywhere. Everything that you pay just goes to their pocket. And when it is time, when that time comes for them to give account, they disappear. Nobody knows because this person was not honest in their dealings. So the message that John is delivering to these tax collectors is also coming to us. Wherever we are, in whatever duties or roles we've been given, is asking us to be honest. The soldiers also come, and we, ngaifwe, what should we do? Ngaifwe, you know. and these don't just say, what should we do? It seems they feel they've been left out. What about us? And we, what should we do? And he says, rob no one by violence or by false accusation, and be content with your wages. Rob no one by violence or by false accusation, and be content with your wages. I think John is still getting back to the same issue of integrity. Even those that are in the military, the police, the security guards, those, he says, don't be violent. Don't accuse anybody falsely. And be happy, be content with your wages. But on the last part, be content with your wages, here, it also depends on how much you are getting. Because if you are getting 2 kwacha, how can you be happy with the 2 kwacha? No. And how can you be content? On this one, we need to have a meeting with John the Baptist so that we discuss this issue. Be content with your wages. It's a bit controversial. Yeah, it's very difficult to be happy with your wages if it is not, meeting all your needs. It is very difficult. So we are going to have a meeting with John the Baptist on this one. But he's right when he says, don't be violent and don't accuse anybody falsely. He's very right. Don't be violent. Don't accuse anybody falsely. Police Mandela, don't be violent and don't accuse anybody falsely. If you're going to take somebody to the police cell and to lock them up, make sure you know what you're doing. Make sure you have the evidence. You know that this person anako. 5 days, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month, after 6 months, then you find that there is no case, and then you come and say sorry. Just say sorry. My God, man. So if you're going to lock up somebody, make sure that you have done your homework. That you know exactly what you're doing. So, John the Baptist is preaching to all of us. In short, all of us, wherever we are. Because when you talk about issues of honesty and integrity, these issues do not just touch a portion of a certain portion of people. It touches everybody, whether you're military, whether you're a priest, whether you are a president, whether you are a minister, whether you are a disciplinary committee in the Smoke community, whether you are, whatever you are, the issue of honesty touches you. And this is the basis of today's message. Our prayer today is that we are going to rejoice, not as individuals, but as a community. There's something about being happy together, which is not about being happy alone. And what is important is not to be happy alone, because that brings in the aspect of self-centeredness, selfishness. We have to be happy together. And the only way to be happy together, as John the Baptist today is guiding us, is by way of sharing what we have with other people, by looking at other people's needs, looking at other people's emptiness, and to be moved into action, to do something about what is lacking in their life. And that is the only way to be happy as a community. We pray indeed that this joy may be full in our hearts, but not only in our hearts, but also in the hearts of many other people that we interact with, that we meet in our lives today and always. Amen.